So this is the second part of the January 2013 paper, the section you should spend 45 minutes on or more if you've managed to finish section 1 within 30 minutes, which you should do with practice. Going to give you case study. Sometimes they'll give you one bit of evidence, sometimes two. In this case it was about eBay. It was saying that lots more people or lots more businesses are operating on eBay. Over 159 companies now make over £1 million on eBay selling cars and things. Many of these businesses are based in large cities which have high levels of unemployment, and that's interesting. We'll get back to that because that's one of the questions. And then the second part is about a guy who owns his own fashion shop, his own menswear boutique, a child of the Yago. I think that's how you say it, or Jago. Who knows? Well, I don't know where they get these names from. Basically, he makes clothes from old tat, old fabric. So good for him. And he is a micro business, which is basically like a niche business, or at least a small company. Basically, it's operating, as it says here, it has fewer than 10 employees. So it's a small business, basically. Right, so let's get on with the questions. Question 7. Explain why the weaker pound may have helped to boost exports from the UK using eBay. Easy. So weaker pound means that the pound is worth less than other currencies. Therefore, customers can buy more products from the UK if they are situated abroad, because things will be cheaper for them because the pound has got weaker. Therefore, if you're a UK business and you operate on eBay, anyone from around the world can use eBay. Therefore, customers who are outside of the UK will find that the UK products are now cheaper for them because the pound has got weaker. So this will boost exports because businesses will find demand from abroad will go up. Simple enough. That's your first question done. That's only 4 marks. Explain why high profits can act as a signal to enter a marketplace such as eBay. Right. So you'd say one of the big aims of a business is to make profits, is to be profitable. If businesses already within the market, already on eBay, are making a lot of profit, this will act as an incentive for other businesses who would also want to make high profits to enter the market. So it's basically one of their aims is to make profit, therefore they will see that other people are making a profit and they will want to do that as well. If you want to link it into eBay, remember every question has to be focused on the case study. You can say it's easy for someone to enter the market of eBay because there are very low barriers to entry. Anyone can set up their own business on eBay. All it requires is about 5 minutes of just put your credit card details in, set up a page, that's it. So there's low barriers to entry. If there's high profits, lots of businesses will want to enter that market because they too want to make high profits, because that's one of the main aims of all businesses, is to make profit. Question 9. Analyse 2 ways in which businesses selling on eBay may be affected by increased unemployment in large cities. So they want 2 ways analysed, no evaluation needed, right? So think, what effects does generally unemployment have on a business? Well, you'd start by saying businesses that sell luxury products on eBay may find that their sales go down as those who as more people are unemployed. Generally that means that their income falls. As consumers' income falls in these cities that have high unemployment, there will be less demand for luxury products. So companies on eBay selling luxury products may find that in large cities their demand is going down. However, if they are selling inferior products, they may see that their demand has gone up, because as people's income drops, they demand more from inferior products. So it really depends what type of products you're selling on eBay. If it's a luxury thing like cars or fashion, then you'd probably see a drop. If it's an inferior product like cheap cars and cheap fashion, you may see demand is increasing. So that's one point. Another point you could say is that eBay if there's a lot of unemployment, because there's such low barriers to entry, you may find that more people set up businesses on eBay because it's really easy to do. If you're unemployed, you don't need a lot of money to set up an eBay shop. So they may find that more people are unemployed, they need to make an income. They'll go to a market that has low barriers to entry, such as online. It's easy to set something up online, especially on eBay. So that's an effect that might happen. Also, if these shops that operate on eBay are looking to hire more staff and they are located in these large cities, then they may find it easier to hire people. Remember, for a business, it can be a positive thing if you operate in an area with high unemployment, because if you need new workers, it's easier to find them because so many people are unemployed that actually you've got a massive pool of talent to choose from. So you could have any of those points. No need to evaluate them because it's just analyze. So that's 6 marks. Moving on. Question 10. Analyze 2 reasons why micro businesses, such as the one mentioned in the case study, I'm not going to try and say it again because I don't really know. Is it a silent J? I'm not sure. Are able to survive in industries dominated by large businesses. Right. So it's basically saying, how can a small company operate in the fashion industry? Because fashion industry is full of really large businesses, really large companies. How can a tiny one like this one survive? So 2 reasons why they're able to survive, right? 1, they have a USP, a unique selling point. This company is able to sell products unlike any of the larger companies. Why? What do they do? Remember, link it to the case study. It says that they take old fabric and turn it into bespoke menswear outfits. They create unique outfits that you wouldn't find in Primark or Georgia Asda's or anywhere else. So therefore, they are able to attract customers because they have unique products that no one else is selling. So in some ways, they have less competition because they are not trying to compete with the large companies. They are kind of in a little market all by themselves. So that's the first point. They're able to make money because they are selling a unique product. Secondly, they, as it says in the case study, they offer excellent customer service. This is something that the larger companies, the larger fashion industry doesn't really do. Smaller micro businesses and companies that operate kind of very small and can change quickly, they can have excellent customer service. That makes them unique again, something different that they offer that customers wouldn't get anywhere else. So they may be able to keep customers, they may be able to build brand and customer loyalty, because when people go to their shop, they get a lovely service that you wouldn't get if you went to Primark. So that's another way that they're able to survive. Thirdly, you don't need 3 points, but just to give another point, if you're a very small company, it's easy for you to change what you're doing and react to the market very quickly. A large company might take months or even years to change its products, to change its fashion line, but a small company can change in a matter of weeks or months. It says they only produce a very small amount of products at a time, 3 to 60. So if some of their products aren't selling, they will simply stop selling that. If any products are not profitable, they will cut those profitable products and focus on something else. So that are 3 reasons how they can be successful, basically by offering something that the larger companies can't do. You could also say larger companies sometimes suffer from diseconomies of scale, whereas smaller companies wouldn't have that. They don't have as much wastage. That's another point. Right, assess. Now we're on to evaluate. Assess 2 methods that they can use to reduce uncertainty caused by macroeconomic change. Now, it's not just saying to reduce uncertainty full stop, it's specifically uncertainty by macroeconomic change. So we start by sort of unpacking what does that mean. Uncertainty occurs when things happen within a market that the business could not predict. If it's in terms of macroeconomic change, it means to do with the economy. So things like the economic cycle, GDP falling, for example, that is a macroeconomic change. Unemployment going up, that's a macroeconomic change. Unemployment going down is a macroeconomic change. Inflation changing, all of those things. So what can a business do, a small business within the fashion industry, that can help it to stop uncertainty or at least lower that risk? Well, first one, they can carry out market research. Remember, make it specific to the case study. So they could carry out market research with the customers that they currently have within the fashion industry and find out what the customers like and dislike. That way, if there is a change in unemployment, if consumer income starts to fall or if consumer income starts to rise, then they can sell the products that consumers really like and get rid of the products that they know will not sell very well. So first thing to do is carry out market research on their customers to find out exactly what their customers like. The second thing that they could do is they could monitor macroeconomic data. What does that mean? Well, they monitor GDP. So they track the GDP over the course of the year so they can see what the trend is. Is the economy growing or is the economy shrinking? Are we in a recession or are we not? They could monitor things like inflation levels. They can monitor unemployment levels. Why is that important? If they monitor GDP and they see that GDP is going up, then we know that the economy is healthy. Generally, people have a lot of disposable income, so they can focus on producing more products because they're selling luxury products and they know that therefore their products might be more popular. If they are seeing that the GDP is falling, that the economy is shrinking, then they might want to cut their production levels because there probably won't be as much demand as there was previously. Now that's kind of assess 2 points. Remember, assess means evaluate. So what could you say? Well, 1, market research is not always 100% accurate. Asking customers their opinions does not translate to sales. So even if customers say that they like a certain product, it doesn't mean they would actually buy it. Secondly, monitoring economic data. The problem with that is all the data that is published has already happened. So GDP, the data about what the level of GDP is, that's just data published about the economy that's already happened. Growth has already happened. So the data is out of date. So it cannot predict exactly what's going to happen. And if there was some sort of shock suddenly out of nowhere, for example, some sort of terrorist attack, or let's say a sudden increase in unemployment, the business would not have planned for that. So you cannot adequately plan for all macroeconomic change. Moving on to question 12. Evaluate the 2 possible strategies that this company may adopt in order to become profitable. Right, last question. So it says in the case study that Fox Brothers sell wool to Savile Row luxury tailors. So basically they sell wool to very expensive shops that make very expensive suits. 2 things they can do to be profitable. 1, they sell more mainstream. At the moment, they're only selling to very specialist shops. Why don't they try to sell the wool to high streets? There's more high street shops than there are Savile Row suit makers. So if they try to sell to more companies, they'll have more profit. That's 1 point. 2, they could look to, if they're not profitable, they could look to cut their costs, look to use less expensive raw material. It says they use only the best wool, only the best raw material. Well, why don't they just cut the quality that they use? Maybe they use less skilled workers. Maybe their workers are too expensive to hire. Evaluation point on that: 1, if they change, well, firstly you could say high street shops may not be interested in their product at the current price. It might be too expensive. High street shops don't want to do that. They may have to therefore reduce their prices if they're looking to try and entice the high street shops. And if they reduce their prices, it may end up, they might sell more, but they may still be unprofitable. Secondly, if they cut the quality of their products, people might not want to buy it anymore. The Savile Row tailors might not want it anymore. So there's a problem there. Demand might go down. If they cut their workers, then the quality of the product may suffer. So that's your answer for question 12. And that's going to be 217 markers, and that's going to bring you to the end of the paper.